Like my pet hates on videography when people don't use proper microphones, or they use cables that trail off, so presenters trip over stuff. But or don't use any microphones at all. They rely on the phone's microphones. Some of them are okay, but they're not good for presenting or creating any videos with, because it gets a lot of the background noise as well. And they're not bidirectional. And sometimes when you're behind the camera filming and you talk, that sounds better because the microphones around the back seem to pick up quite a bit, but it's not always the case. So buying some decent microphones is always a good point, especially if you're doing a lot of videography, doing presenting. I know you could be doing property where you're selling a place. Wireless microphones are really important, not to be tied to a cable. And they've got to be small enough so they're hidden away as well, so they don't look clumberless on your pinned. I like to hide my microphones. So I'm wearing a wireless microphone at the moment, which is DJI mics, the original ones, where they use a magnet on the back here. But I do now have an upgrade to a new mic that DJI released this year. So it hasn't been out for very long. And what they've done is it's much cheaper than the original microphone. So I paid like £309 for my original ones. They got the new ones out, which is a 2 versions of this. The only slight difference between both of them is one records on board, and the other one doesn't do onboard recording. Hence the price difference is massive. It's like almost at half the price. So I went and bought the new ones, which is great because it comes in a nice little bag like this, and you obviously get the little wind little wind things to put on there anyway. But I always wear the microphones under clothing, so that way you don't have to worry about the little wind bits. The clothing kind of gets rid of the noise across when you're out and about, especially if it's not too windy. If it's really windy, you still kind of get that. Even with those on, you can still kind of pick it up. But this comes in a charging case, a bit like my original ones do. Obviously, a slightly different charging case. And obviously, it's got USB-C standard now. It's got lights on the front tells you the charging status. And you've got a little open case, and it will then show me it's at half charge. So now I have had this on full charge since I've had it, and it's just been laying around, sitting inside in a normal room temperature for quite a few months, and it has lost 2 charges going down, so that discharge. So I don't know whether that's a feature of these microphones where you discharge and bring it to a state where it then holds it, then it keeps the battery life going for good, because drones batteries tend to do the same. They will drain themselves after a period of time, so they're not always kept fully charged, which can cause damage when you go to recharge them and stuff like that basically again. So it's done by 2 anyway. But these are really cute. So again, you get like 2 sets of them. I get a grey and a black pair, so I've got the black pair in here. And the microphone itself is much, much smaller than the original DJI one, so I will compare them together. So if I can get this out of the box, they are tiny. So that's the little mics, and you can see that. They're quite small, very small. So compare that to my hand. I don't know if that's any good representations, I don't know, but they're the microphones. It's got a little magnet on the back there, so it can pin a bit like what I've got here. Show the difference between the mini mic and the original mic. So you can see the difference. So literally half the size, probably a little bit thinner, I think. I'm not sure, it's quite, they're kind of like, but yeah, it's kind of half the size. So it's a lot smaller. So the charging time for these, or use time, is really a long time. This has got onboard recording, hence why it's a bit more bigger, because this doesn't have onboard recording. It relies to be connected to a phone or a device for recording with, but it's so much tinier, so nice. The receiver, I can't show you the receiver because I'm currently filming on it, but this is a receiver. Again, it's half the size again, or a lot more flatter. But you've got a little wheel here that will adjust the dB up and down on it as well. You've got a light on the front indication. You've got a side port to plug it into a DSLR camera, kind of like what the other one's got as well, on and off, and that's about it. You don't have a screen on it to say the status. It's very much, that's it, 'cause that's kind of all you need. There's no onboard recording. It's direct. So you get 2 little mics to go with it, so you can have a presenter and somebody else, like a guest, talking to. It works a treat, and this is quite nice. And it's got a clip on, so this will clip on, and also it's like a shoe mount straight on top of your camera. So now being armed with this really improves your recording on your work. It's much clearer. It's not had any problems. I've been with DJI since day dot, and their audio quality is really good. And the other feature in here as well, which I haven't got to try out yet, is it will do, as it's recording the person's talking or chatting, or whether you use a film, it does cut around the background noise down by 50%, why it's happening. Normally I do that with Final Cut Pro, and normally take the recording and the audio and then reduce it by 50% and cuts all the background noise out. This does it actually on the hardware directly with. So it's a feature I don't have to activate and think extra when I'm doing the editing side of actually making sure it's on. It does it automatically. It's really good. So what else is, I think that's the main features, the smallness, longer charge, background noise cutting down as well. The dB is kind of here, which is nicer. I tend to have a default setting. I tend to go with what's already set on there. I don't ever change the dB levels. They seem to be accurate enough anyway. And when I do Final Cut Pro, if I need to amp the volume, I can do it really nicely. I only go up by a couple and that's it. Apart from that, this is an awesome piece of kit. So this is what you should be having, recording and taking out with you when you're doing your videos and stuff like that. And I love the case. So on my, so I'm just putting this away, on my original DJI, when I go out to local events, the only things I had, I'm not sure if this one actually will do it, we'll do it or not, but I will have to find out when I do an event next. When you're in an event, you're around thousands of people carrying mobile phones. They're all broadcasting Bluetooth, they're all broadcasting Wi-Fi as well. They're looking for a Wi-Fi access point to connect to, they're broadcasting Bluetooth. So there's a lot of noise going along in such a small area, especially as an event. And I find the original DJI mics, which I'm recording on at the moment, tend to have a clipping noise. So as recording back to the camera, you get a clipping noise. Now, to get around that, what I tend to do is record it onboard the microphone. So these ones, my original ones, I use for onboard recording. Then that way I go back and then swap the audio around. Because there's so much Wi-Fi interference, it causes the clipping noise. Every now and again, it just be a big clip on it, but not all the way through it. Just every now and again, it bang does it. So I'm not sure if these will do it. It's meant to be more improved and more encrypted. So we'll find out when we do an event next whether it does the same. If it does, then obviously I won't be able to use these at events. But if it doesn't do it, then that's going to be bloody awesome to have that clipping feature. Not to do it. Am I going to miss the onboard recording for these? No, because most of the time when I'm recording straight at the camera, I don't actually use the onboard recording. I used to put it on when I first started onboard recording all the time, just in case something happened and I lost the audio for something, but I've never have. So I've never really used that. Well, I've done it quite a lot, leaving it on, but I've never used it. I've never downloaded the footage and think, yeah, I need that audio. So this should be a lot better for me. And yeah, and longer charge. So with the original microphones, I'll be at an event all day long. Come to lunchtime, I will have to put the whole thing on charge to recharge out, like put it back in its case to recharge. This one's meant to have a lot more longer charge, so it should be able to go along a lot more longer than 8 hours. So we will do a road test. We've got an event coming up very soon, so I will road test these fully and to see if they do work as well as they say they do on the box. So watch out for another video very soon. I've got a YouTube channel called Jack's Tech Tips on a different channel, which goes in depth on this kind of stuff. I tend to review stuff now very much like I buy it. I use it for a solid month or so or longer, and then I come on and do a review and then get a proper review, my actual thoughts. I only buy equipment I use. I don't buy it for the sake of reviewing it. So if I find it useful and it's going to be something I'm going to be using with my gear, then I do a review on it a bit later on as well. So anyway, thanks for watching and joining me on this. I'm hoping this is a live YouTube Shorts, and I will speak to you soon. I'm going to do some more stuff because there's lots of things you can add to your equipment, like portable lighting. This is awesome. I'll do a review on it another time. There's things you can add, storage. I've got loads of stuff I've got here, charging plugs and power banks, and I've got loads. Especially when you're out and about, what you need in your bag. Maybe do a kit review, what I carry when I go to events. I try and keep everything minimal, so I'll do a review on that later on. And thanks for joining. If you're not already a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button and do follow this. Share this video around. I will do more very soon on this channel, so stay tuned. And see you later. I'll find the off button now. I've gone live. There we go.